Welcome back to the JCPod, partnered by Stare Down Sports. Stare Down greatness. What a weekend of football we had. Sunday night. Wow. Thursday night, the first half. Wow. Monday night wasn't too bad either. We really had some really true. I can't even put it into words. We had some really good games this weekend. We had some games that surprisingly came down to the last minute. The Saints Cardinals, we'll talk about it later. Came down to the final 9-10 seconds, I think, basically, before that game ended. It was a weekend of fun NFL football. So today, what we'll do pretty much, we'll just recap pretty much the NFL, kind of go over what we saw there. I'll talk about some betting-wise, what happened for us over the course of it as well. After that, we'll go over some NFL news, kind of finish talking about some stuff that I didn't hit when I was recapping the games and everything, and then probably finish off this show with... It's probably too early to start looking at MVP odds and all that type of stuff. I'm probably going to wait till a month into the season before we start even looking at that stuff, but... Yeah, we'll probably just end up ending it with NFL news depending on how the recap goes, but... Man, like I said, it was a great weekend. So we'll start off with the Thursday night game. This was as a person who had the over in this game, man, that was depressing. Oh, I guess you know what? By the way, we'll preview week 2. That's what we're gonna do before we end the show. We'll talk very, very, very briefly about some of the matchups, and then tomorrow we'll break them down and everything. But like I said, talking about Thursday's game, to get back to that real quick. 24-20, Eagles end up winning. It was an awesome back and forth affair scoring-wise. And then, won't lie to you, after that delay, I went to bed. Glad I did, because, I'd much rather have rewatched what I did the very next day, because there was not very much scoring going on. But a game, like I said, ends up being 24-20. CD, some bad drops that just ended up being, for him, too. And, there were drops for him, too. Other players, maybe it'd be just missed pass. But for CD, there's a couple one of those ones, man, you got to have those. Come on, man. Which, it just goes to show how great of a player he is that you expect that from him, but... Yeah, Javonte Williams was kind of the surprise, how well he did it on the ground. The really thing that killed him was that Miles Sanders' fumble just feels like it truly flipped the game. I think that was... Did the delay happen, I think, after that? I truly can't fully remember. I wish I took some more notes for this game, but... It ended up not being too bad of a game at all. Like I said, I ended up not watching the end of it until the very next day. Wish there was some more scoring. I'm really upset about that over. That's one over where, in hearing the stats about, how often the scoring goes for that game, it's just, how much the over should have hit. It was just man. Eye roll. Good old eye roll, but, like I said, Eagles win 24-20. Not a bad game to start off the season. Saquon had 18 rushes for 60 yards, a touchdown. Dak was 21 for 34 for 188. Jalen Hurts was 19 of 23. The one weird thing to talk about, A.J. Brown, he only had one reception for 8 yards. We're going to have to watch him going into the season 2. Week 2. We're going to have to watch him going into week 2 just to see if, it's an injury thing or if it's just more of, that's just how the game plan went that day. But, Jahan Dotson had 3 receptions for 59. Goddard, 7 for 44. Barkley, 4 for 24. Devontae Smith, 3 for 16. So he didn't have the best of days either. But, like I said, that A.J. Brown only had one reception. It was partially a good game plan, but it was also just, like I said, I don't know if it's an injury thing, a game plan thing, or just how the game went, one of those things. We'll have to just keep watching as we go and then kind of just watch the reports. He did have that hammy issue before the season, so that's what has me worried, that could be something that's a real issue. As for the Friday night game, I'll admit it. I came on the show, I said I want the Chargers to prove it. They proved it. Justin Herbert played amazing. They went 27-21 over the Chiefs. Quentin Johnson started off with a score. Keenan Allen got a score for them. The Chiefs. Are we gonna start be worried about the Chiefs and their offense? I won't lie to you. It's been a little stinky for a bit, but and they're also Worthy got knocked out of the game very early, and they're also missing Rashee Rice for the first 6 games. But they really need that yak guy who can get those yards after catch, and it would be really nice if. Like I said, they had that receiver. They're basically missing the 2 that they wanted. And I don't know what's going to go on with Worthy, to be honest. That shoulder issues are real. The guy with shoulder issues, that shoulder thing's a real problem. And if he's going to play with it dislocated in a brace, it's going to... Being a receiver, that's what makes it even worse, too, is he's a receiver, so he's going to do all these type of angles. He's going to potentially fall on it, get tackled on it. So... That's my scare for the Chiefs. Is like what's going to happen with Xavier Worthy the rest of the season as he deals with that issue. But like I said, that happened like very, very early on, and so I don't know how big of a part of the game plan he was, but the fact that happened, it was just like also too the fact that I gave out some of his props, just like, well, damn, what a way to start the season. But like I said, it's just one of those things. It's like, is he going to be okay? We're going to have to watch out for that. Their offense is just like, it's right. I mean, like, I'm going to praise, don't worry, I'm about to praise the Chargers here in a minute, but that was just my first issue. It's just like, man, it feels like there's just sometimes the Chiefs offense just can't get going. Hollywood Brown having 10 for 99, Juju having 5 for 55. I'm assuming Hollywood Brown's going to be a guy that majorly steps up, especially in the absence of Xavier Worthy if he's like really, really dealing with injury. But past him, I mean, Juju, Tyquan Thornton had a really nice catch. So I'm very curious to see if that's a guy who steps up too, because Tyquan Thornton, that catch was really nice in that game. So hopefully he can step up for them, because like I said, receiver just seems to be like the big issue right now. Past that, like I said, the Chargers just played amazing, man. You cannot take anything away from the Chargers. I mean, like that was one of those games like that. I just can't get over how good Herbert was. Herbert was just amazing to watch in that game. 25 for 34 for 318, 3 touchdowns. Hampton didn't have the best of games. I mean, when Herbert's dealing like that, I mean, and they let Herbert throw a lot. That was one of those games like, I expected the Chargers to run the ball a decent amount, especially, I mean, the Chiefs did have the number 1 rushing defense. That might not be number 1, but it's one of the best if it's not number 1. And I thought that, like I said, I thought the Chargers were going to run a little bit more. They ended up not running much at all. I mean, he still got 15 carries, so, like, they ran a decent amount, but it was like a lot of like, oh, they're letting Herbert throw again. Like there's places where it's like, oh, they might throw a run in here. It's like, oh, Herbert threw again. And like I said, he was absolutely dealing. Quentin Johnson had 5 receptions. Ladd had 6. Keenan had 7. I mean, everyone was catching passes. Defensively, they balled out, got enough stops when they needed to. And like I said, my biggest thing for it's like, okay, so the Chargers won. This was a massive win too for the Chargers. I mean, this is going to be a massive win for them going down the season, because now they got 1 win over the Chiefs. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but the Chiefs are the only AFC West team to lose a game, and will this game come back to bite them, especially if the rest of the AFC West can continue to stay good? We'll have to see, but like I said, my biggest concern is the wide receiver issue for Chiefs. I mean, Kelsey was all right. That's just how, I mean, I don't know. I think it's the start of the season. It's first game. You can't look into it too much, but receiving-wise, that's my biggest concern until they get Rashee Rice back. So that heads us into Sunday. I'll get it out of the way and talk about the Colts. Wow. Daniel Jones. Daniel Dimes, man. That boy, Daniel Dimes. That should have been his name that day. That boy was dealing. I mean, Daniel Jones, 22 for 29. Danny Dimes, 272, 1 passing touchdown. He had 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Jonathan Taylor had 18 carries for 71 yards. Michael Pittman, 8 for 80 and a touchdown. But the big guy I want to talk about in this game besides Daniel Jones, who, by the way, amazing game out, Daniel Jones. Absolutely amazing game. Very proud of how he played. Let's talk about Tyler Warren, man. That guy, it's crazy. I'll talk about the defense, too, here in a minute, because the defense absolutely balled out, and I want to get into the Dolphins issues as well. But it's insane what playmaker at tight end makes, or a different tight end makes. Because, I mean, dude, Colts didn't have a tight end do anything last year. I think they had 36 receptions the whole year. I mean, that's absolutely horrible. In this game alone, I'm pretty sure Tyler Warren had 7. Yeah, 7 for 76. I mean, it was, like, immediately impactful. Watch the way he plays. I mean, he's going to be a big weapon for Daniel Jones going down the season. That was just one of those games where it's like, I expected the Colts to win. So it's like, all right, are they going to win? Is this going to be a tough game where it's like, oh, of course, the Colts found a way to blow it? Or is this going to be a game where it's like the Colts win? And then I did not expect them to dominate like that. Like I said, the defense absolutely balled out. Just absolutely harassed 2 all day. It's amazing what a decent defensive coordinator makes. I mean, Lou Anarumo, chef's kiss to you, man. I mean, oh my goodness. It is amazing to see a defensive coordinator that changes up looks. I mean, there was, I think it was third play of the game. They had everyone lined up at the line, and then they ended up dropping back into coverage, but everyone lined up like they were going to all blitz. And I remember texting my buddy, I think it was right after that play happened. It's like, it's crazy what a difference, showing different looks makes. Because, it's like night and day. The Colts defense was like night and day. Having Cam Bynum's awesome, too. He brings so much energy. I mean, that was like a night and day difference. Jim Irsay went to the Ring of Honor, so they also was a little bit extra edge there. But, man, Mike McDaniel, he's probably getting fired this year, isn't he? I mean, they looked awful. Tua played 14 for 23, 114 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. I think he had 2 fumbles as well. For sure one. It was just not a good day. It was not a good day for the Dolphins. Well, I mean, they basically went down like right away too. The defense got a turnover, I'm pretty sure first or second play. And every Colts defender that's new, like Xavier Howard, Cam Bynum, I mean, everyone made a play. Travarius Ward, like, all got interceptions, fumbles. Latu dropped back and cover tight interceptions. Like, that's another thing too. Like, we never saw Gus Bradley do that with him or any other player. And like any of the time he was here, he had defensive end drop back and coverage. It's like night and day what's happening. Daniel Jones just seems like a great fit for the Colts. I mean, Shane Steichen seemed like he was running the offense. He's wanted to run for the first time in a while. So, I'll admit, as a Colts fan, I'm very, very optimistic. For Dolphins fans, I definitely feel bad for him because, yeah, it's going to be a long season, it seems like, especially if this is how their first game started. Because, I mean, this wasn't even close. Defense didn't play the best. Colts did, I think they scored in 7 straight drives for the first time since 1977 or something on all 7 drives. I mean, the Dolphins defense did get drops. You're talking, 9 play drives that scores, 14 play drive, 5 play drive, 17 play drive, 8 play drive. And the biggest thing that Shane Steichen, I guess, preached all offseason was like, hey, long drives, multiple plays, keep the ball. And that's exactly what you saw the Colts do in that game. And like I said, it was night and day. Going against the Broncos next week, we'll talk about that a little. Won't lie, wouldn't be shocked if they don't win that game, but they are home for that game, so it gives me a little bit more optimism. So it's just nice to be excited about them again. And like I said, for the Dolphins, oh boy, if they do not win that game against the Patriots next week, it is going to get loud over there in Miami. I mean, it was Tyreek Hill was screaming on the sideline. It was just not a good day for the Dolphins at all. They basically didn't even have a chance. They got off the bus and basically were down 20 right away. Buccaneers-Falcons, this was an amazing game. This ended up being a nice thriller, too. The big scare for me is Drake London. Went out with injury. We're kind of waiting to see on that report. I might have more in the news because I'll admit, since this morning, I haven't checked in like the latest 2-3 hours, but I haven't really seen anything. But this was an amazing back-and-forth game. Emeka Egbuka stepped up in his first game. Let me see. Yeah, 4 for 67, 2 touchdowns. Pretty good start for a rookie. Bijan Robinson, he had I won't lie to you, I thought the Falcons might win this game right away. Bijan had a reception for 51 yards and a touchdown. Like, that basically, it's like, oh, okay, so this is going to be a problem. So it's like, all right, because I won't lie to you, as a guy, I picked the Bucs, had them in Pickem. So it's one of those things where it's like, all right, so this game might be a problem. Good to know. And as the game went on, it was just like, Bucs hung around. It was tied at halftime. Bucs score a touchdown. They end up taking the lead. Michael Penix, it felt like they had a final drive that lasted like 18 years. It was just the longest drive ever. They end up scoring. And then, of course, the Bucs end up marching back down the field. Emeka Egbuka scores his second touchdown, which is great. Baker only had 167 passing yards. Bucky Irving had 37 rushing yards. It's just... For having no offense, it felt like they were on offense a lot. Actually, let me see the time possession real quick, because it felt like the way I was at, because I won't lie to you, I didn't watch this game fully straightforward. It kept coming on back and forth. Okay, no, I was thinking of the Falcons. My bad. Falcons felt like they were on the field all the time. I misspoke. I did not mean to say the Bucs. I meant to say the opposite, where it's like I felt like they were never on the field. It felt like I would see them. It'd be like, oh hey, third down. Nothing good happens. All right, they're punting again. Cool. And then Cage would be like, oh, hey, they scored this drive. Nice. I didn't realize they put a drive together. And like I said, so then we were able to watch the end of the game. Long drive for the Falcons. Bucs end up scoring to answer back. They're up 23-20. And then the Falcons end up driving down. They end up actually getting in field goal range. And for whatever reason, Koo pushed it right. No good. Bucs win, and they steal a massive victory. It's awesome that we had all these division games to start out week 1, but it's like, man, kind of sucks for these teams to lose in week 1, especially because, you lose because everyone's rusty a little bit, still trying to get some kinks out and everything. So, when that stuff happens, especially in, week 1 for a division game, it's like, that's going to be a tough one. Especially when these two teams are predicted to be the top of the division. That win might have, I'm not going to say it sealed the division, but now the Bucs own the tiebreaker. And we'll have to see what happens, but if they win again down the line, because they won this game in Atlanta. if they win the game in Tampa, assuming if all experts agree, they're probably going to win the division. So yeah, that was a massive win for the Bucs. For the Falcons, it's just like, man, that's a really, really tough loss to have, especially when you had a chance to go to overtime and you just missed a field goal with a really good field goal kicker. The Jets-Steelers, this was the fun game. I mean, the over-under, I think, was at 37.5. Ends up being 34-32. Justin Fields looked awesome in this game. This was a really good Justin Fields game, one of the highest of highs. And then somebody else looked good. Aaron Rodgers. There's moments, I'll admit, Aaron Rodgers had some drives where it's like, he wasn't able to move, kind of stuck in the pocket. But he still had some amazing throws and some plays and on some drives where it's just like, man, this guy's driving down the field. This looks like vintage Aaron Rodgers. Had a nice one to Calvin Austin at one point. Vince Kroenke even threw a touchdown to at the beginning. That one was... He just had some awesome throws where it's like, okay, this is still Aaron Rodgers. The best part about this game is coming down the line. All of a sudden, Justin Fields scores a rushing touchdown in the fourth quarter 7 minutes ago. Both these teams are kind of going back and forth. Jets take the lead. Steelers just seem like, man, they cannot just catch a break. Can't catch a break. Can't get anything going on any of these drives. And then finally, their defense gets to stop going to the 2-minute drill, and you just have that feeling, right? Like, okay, the special teams have done enough to get Aaron Rodgers a cheap touchdown, especially in the fourth quarter to get them back. Because, originally they scored a touchdown with Jaylen Warren to get the lead. And then there's a muff kick. They get the ball back. They use Calvin. I think Calvin Austin scores his second touchdown of the day. Or, no, sorry. That was his first touchdown of the day. He scored his touchdown after they got that muff punt. And then the Jets come back down, took the lead 7 minutes later. And then there's no scoring for the next 7 minutes. Like I said, there's this 2-minute drive. They had Steelers have to end up kicking a 60-yard field goal. And just Chris Boswell, man, absolutely drills the field goal, 60 yards, like I said, drills it. Looks like the Jets might have a second where they'll be marching down the field, and then it comes down to Garrett Wilson looks right open. Not Justin Jefferson, Justin Fields ends up throwing in the ball, and then because at this point they're on the New York Jets 38, so they're on the edge of field goal ranges where it's like, oh no, they're gonna end up stealing this, aren't they? And then Jalen Ramsey absolutely just smacks Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson ends up dropping the ball. Steelers win. End up that hook, like we say around here, the hook a motherfucker. That hook got us. Steelers minus 2.5. And like I said, there was a reason I even dropped the 3, because it would have been a push regardless. But if we had the 2.5, it would have hit. But regardless, it ended up being a 2. So neither of those hit. So it's like, damn, messed out on that one. But massive win for the Steelers. Because it looked like they were going to blow this at one point. We're going to have to see if that defense is really bad or if this was just like a first game. Regardless for both these teams, because I thought both these teams' defenses were going to be decent, and then they gave up 30 to each team. So maybe it's just first game. Wasn't the best tackling, wasn't the best fundamental stuff. We're going to see if it carries over. But awesome win for the Steelers. Probably one of the best games of the first window. Aaron Rodgers ends up throwing for 244 and 4 touchdowns. What was Justin Fields? He was 16 for 22, 218, 1 touchdown. And then rushing-wise, I think he was... Sorry, I thought I had this pulled up. I accidentally closed it out. He has 12 for 48. Breece Hall, 19 for 107. Breece Hall was, really good. And you can tell that boy playing for a contract. And he's for sure, I don't want to say for sure, but probably not going to be on the Jets next year. So, like I said, that boy playing for a contract trying to play elsewhere. Panthers lose 26-10 to the Jaguars. Really didn't, because of a rain delay, this game ended up getting pushed. We don't need to talk about this game too much. Jaguars did not look the best, but they ended up winning. There was a pick six it was a horrible pick six that Bryce Young threw. But ended up getting called back because of a penalty. And then Bryce Young scores a touchdown to make this game look a little bit better. Should have been, 33-3, basically. Technically looks like it'll be decent if they can figure out the offense. Defense looked pretty sloppy, not the best for them. And like I said, looked like Bryce Young stepped up a little bit last year. Oh, boy. We might have the same old Bryce Young. He did not play the best this game, so that was really tough to see, honestly. That was one of those performances where it's like, damn, I guess, yeah. So expectations are lowered a little bit for the Panthers. They did not keep this game close at all. This score is misleading. It was an absolute blowout. Shouldn't even be a 16-point game. Yeah. Panthers just, it might be tough. I won't lie, they might be moving. It's getting to that point where it's like, okay, they might be moving on from Bryce Young, which might be the best for both sides, honestly. Commanders win 21-6. And by the way, this was before getting into this game a little bit. This was the week of like wide receivers being weird with not playing the best. Like, I mean, we'll talk about in a minute. The Bengals. I think Jamar Chase ended up not being the best because they had a horrible second half. Nico Collins didn't play the best. We'll get into that game in a bit. Terry McLaurin didn't play the best. So it was a weird week one. Some teams played really, really well on offense. Other teams just struggled. Some players struggled, and you could tell they've been out of camp for a while. Other players just struggled in general. I mean, it was really weird week one. I mean, so, like I said, they were still fun games. Like this game, I'll admit, probably not the most fun if you're a Giants fan. 21-6 for the Commanders. They win. Zach Ertz scores the first touchdown. Bill Krosky scores the second touchdown. Debo gets the third. Debo had a really awesome game for his first game. 7 for 77 and a rushing touchdown. Bill Krosky had 10 carries for 82 yards and a touchdown, which might go a lot. When Chris Rodriguez got announced inactive, I think a lot of people were very happy about that, and Bill might have earned his way onto getting a few more snaps. Jane Daniels, 19 for 30 for 233 and a touchdown. Russell Wilson was 17 for 37 for 168, no touchdowns. Biggest take, I mean, I won't lie to you, I didn't watch too much of this game. It was just wasn't one of those ones I wasn't going to get eyes on. I was able to see a decent amount of it, though, but I'll admit I didn't watch like the whole game through, just like bits and pieces. Russell Wilson. I don't know why I said that weird. Yeah, Russell Wilson did not play the best. There's rumors already going around that they're trying to start Jackson Dart in week 2. I don't know how true that is. I just saw it, like I said, just a rumor. Saw it on X. Don't know if it's a reliable source at all or not. It could even be Jameis Winston starting, so they can give Jackson Dart more time, but we'll say. That makes me a little bit nervous about the under if Jackson Dart does end up playing because I think Q's going to be decent. I was hoping he'd start a little bit later in the season, but Russ played pretty bad, so they're probably going to want to move on from him soon. It just might be time for him to. He's just not playing too well anymore. I mean, they had no running game either. I mean, this is just a bad. We knew this was going to be a pretty bad offense. Let's be honest, though, and yeah, with it. It was a really bad offense. Defensively, they didn't play too horrible, I don't think. Like I said, I didn't watch the full game, so I wasn't able to get every defensive snap to get eyes on it. But they didn't seem to play too horrible. Offensively, though, they had nothing. Again, I'm not going to talk about too much. Cardinals win 2013 against the Saints. Saints, yeah. I mean, they had a chance to win. I mean, I don't know if I'm more disappointed in the Cardinals or a little bit impressed with the Saints, but Cardinals ended up winning 2013, like I said, but the Saints were driving down the field with a chance to win. Spencer Rattler isn't able to complete a pass on fourth down. Cardinals do end up winning. Kyler Murray runs a good amount. I think he would have hit us over if we took it. I kind of wish I gave it out. I didn't. And it makes me regret it a little bit because it does seem like he's going to rush a bit more. But no, like I said, it was just not a great showing by either team. I feel like both teams are kind of disappointed in that game. I mean, Cardinals are at least happy they won, but I feel like both teams on that side are kind of disappointed. Like, man, that game really just happened. Speaking of a game that just really happened, Bengals-Browns. Bengals held to 7 yards in the second half. They end up winning because of a missed field goal and a missed PAT and some turnovers by Joe Flacco. I mean, this was a horrible game. If you like defense, this was an awesome game. Like, not too bad of a game at all. If you like scoring now, this is a horrible game for you to watch. I'd say this was horrible because it was just like the Bengals offense, man. Just what is up with them at the start of the year? I mean, even playing in the preseason. Joe Burrow was 14 for 23 for 113. Yeah, Jamar Chase, 2 for 26. T. Higgins is 3 for 33. I mean, this was a very stinky game. I mean, it's one of those things where the Bengals are happy they won this game because I think usually the Browns kind of play them tough. I think in Cleveland a lot too, but yeah, that offensive line might be pretty poopy for the Browns, for the Bengals, excuse me. And that's one of those things where it's like, oh man, that's gonna be a real issue for them because I mean, if their offensive line played that bad, I mean, sheesh. And the fact that one thing that's scary for the Browns, the fact that they couldn't run the ball at all against that Bengals team, it's kind of like, yikes. So that's something where Quinshon Judkins may be coming back next week, might help him. Dylan Sampson seemed all right. Jerome Ford probably going to end up RB3 here soon, especially when Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson take over. Raiders-Patriots. Raiders win 20-13. I'll admit, Raiders actually looked pretty impressive in this game. Drake May and the Patriots didn't play the best. They do have a lot of turnover. The one thing I was kind of disappointed in, only 5 carries for Travion. That feels a little bit disappointing. Rondre had 7 for 15 yards. I mean, they only had 12 carries amongst the running backs in general. Feels like they didn't run the ball too much. Genty had 19 for 38. I mean, he's going to get warmed up to the NFL. He had one run where it looked like he was about to, like, get a good chunk at least, then he just slipped behind. I think he's either behind the line or basically at the line, so he either gained 1 or 2 yards or basically no yards. Keyshawn Booty really showed up for them. He had 6 for 103. I'll admit, Diggs played, I think, right? He had 6 for 57. It was a really cool. I didn't hear a peep from him from the. I'll admit, this is one of those games I strictly only saw in red zone though, so that could be possibly why I wasn't shown too much. But I'm just impressed with the Raiders for this win. I truly thought the Patriots would win this game, and this was a good performance by Geno, 24 for 33, 362, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Drake May threw the ball 46 times. Which is hilarious. Sorry, I thought I got a weird text message, and then I realized somebody changed the fantasy football group chat for one of my buddies' leagues. And I thought it was a notification for something. I'm like, wait, what? But yeah, like I said, I'm expecting Genty. He'll get a little bit better. Brock Bowers dealing with an injury. We'll talk about a little bit later. Jacoby Myers, 8 for 97, had a really good game. Like I said, though, what a game by Geno Smith, honestly. I mean, he balled the hell out. And it seems like I said, Raiders, maybe the Patriots might not be as good as we thought, or maybe the Raiders, they might be. This might be a good team, man. What's their next set? They play the Chargers. Oh yeah, this is a game which we'll talk about it in a minute. Really disappointed with the NFL about it, but we'll talk about it now real quick. Next week's game, the Raiders take on the Chargers, and it's at 10 p.m. Eastern on a Monday, which I'll admit, as a guy in the Eastern time zone who has to wake up very early the next morning, that sucks. So, probably not going to get to watch the second half of that game. Probably going to have to watch that back on probably the day after, which is really disappointing. But, hey, it is what it is. We'll talk about that in a little bit more, like I said, probably tomorrow. 49ers, Seahawks, 17-13. 49ers win. Feels like they kind of stole this game a little bit from the Seahawks. They didn't play the best. It felt like one of those. They played okay, but it wasn't the best of games from the 49ers. It wasn't the best of games from the 49ers, but they played okay. Seahawks, they might be decent. I was a little bit impressed by them. The big thing is, my takeaway, I guess, from the overall game was the injuries. Juwan Jennings injured. George Kittle, hamstring on the IR. I think there was one more guy who might have got hurt. Could be wrong, but. Those are 2 massive injuries. They signed Kendrick Bourne, so I'm not 100% sure if what's going on with Juwan Jennings, if he'll be okay. Like I said, we'll see in the news if there's any update on his MRI, but this is a good win by the 49ers. They were able to score with 9. They scored their only. Sorry, Brock Purdy. I was trying to think of. Basically go back in my mind real quick because I was trying to think of where exactly this part of the game happened. But there's a field goal. Seahawks basically take the lead. And then they're up 13-10. You see the 49ers driving. I believe it came down to 4th down. I'm going to double check with the drive, but pretty sure it came down to 4th down. And let me just double check. Sorry, 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3, Purdy's able to throw a touchdown pass to Tonjes, who is the backup tight end now, who's probably going to get a decent amount of play with George Kittle on IR. Able to complete a pass to him, that's a touchdown. Seahawks actually end up driving down the field a decent amount, but the issue is they end up getting stripped. Nick Bosa ends up making a clutch tackle, I believe it was on 2nd or 3rd down. And then, regardless, it was basically the second to last play for the Seahawks, and then on the last play, Sam Darnold it was a back-to-back play. Nick Bosa got the sack, got the tackle on Ken Bone, and then Nick Bosa recovered a fumble after Sam Darnold got his arm hit. Boom, game's over. Seahawks win, or lose, excuse me. Just mess on that breakdown. But basically, it comes down, the 49ers score a touchdown. Seahawks try to come back down the field. They try to score. Get strip sacked. Game's over, just like that. 49ers escaped with the win, and that was just a tough loss for the Seahawks. Packers-Lions, there's not too much to talk about in this game. I mean, the Packers just put straight belt to ass. Isaac TeSlaa got a garbage nasty, by the way, nasty catch with 55 seconds left, but take away that garbage touchdown. That was a 27-6 ass beating. Michael Parsons didn't play too much, but you can already tell his impact. Rashawn Gary and the other end, can't remember his name. They had not career days, but they had some of the best days they've had as pass rushers. This team's going to be legit, basically, is the takeaway. They handled the Lions. It was a rough start for the new coordinators on the Lions, but I mean, Packers look good in Lambeau. Like, this is one of those games, I'll admit, I thought the Lions might win. Wouldn't be shocked if the Packers win, but I was shocked by the Packers win. This was like a statement win where it's like, okay, so this team might be legit, huh? And they got some receivers, too. Matthew Golden played decent. Romeo Doubs played decent. Jaden Reed played decent. Wicks played decent. I mean, Josh Jacobs played good. This is going to be a team that's going to be a problem. It's all going to come down to can Jordan Love do what he can do. Texans. And by the way, just for future reference, some of these breakdowns won't be as long. Because some weeks, I'll admit, especially as we get later towards the season and more games matter towards the playoffs, like some teams, if they're playing and the game's not a playoff game, won't get talked about as much. But early on, we're going to try to talk about at least each game a little bit. Rams, Texans, Matt Stafford becomes the 10th quarterback in NFL history, 6,000 career passing yards. Rams win 14-9. Not the best offensive game by far, but hey, I thought the Rams played pretty good on offense. They especially played really well on defense. Kyren Williams scores a touchdown, and so does Davis Allen. Kyren Williams had a pretty decent game as well. Puka Nacua had 10 for 130. He had a concussion scare. Look, he was bleeding from the eye, so I was like, what the hell is going on? But it ended up being like a cut above his head, I believe. So he ended up being all good, too. He came back in the game. Nick Chubb played okay, 13 carries for 60 yards. Nico Collins was basically a no-show. Xavier Hutchinson was, I think, the leading receiver for the Texans, which goes to show you what happened. I mean, the offensive line is going to be pretty bad, I think. And that's not me being biased because I'm a Colts fan. Like, that, watching C.J. Stroud having to run around and moving, like, he just had no time. He basically had no time back there on a decent amount of plays, and that's going to be a real problem for the Texans because they have the defense to go somewhere, but I mean, if they have no time to protect, the offensive line is going to be the thing they have to figure out. This is just same as Joe Burrow, same as Andrew Luck. These just feel like similar situations where it's like they got key pieces everywhere. It seems like the team's ready to go, and then they just don't figure out the offensive line, and the quarterback can't do anything if he has nobody blocking for him. But this was an awesome win for the Rams. For the Texans, like I said, this is just really disappointing because it kind of just showed some faults in the team, and it's going to be like a thing where it's like, all right, can we survive this now? Two last games to talk about on Sunday night, one of them being amazing. The other one, not the best. Titans-Broncos, 20-12 when, Titans had a lot of drops. Lots of drops. Not good for Cam Ward in his first start. Cam Ward, a little bit sloppy in his first start, too, with some of these plays. There was a play where there was a wide receiver screen and every receiver went to block. That just goes to show you what's going on over there right now with that team. As for the Broncos, they were just really sloppy as well, too. Two interceptions by Bo Nix. He threw 40 passes, 25 completed for 176 yards, had one touchdown. He had 8 rushes for 18 yards as well. Cortland Sutton 6 for 61. R.J. Harvey had 6 rushes for 70 yards. J.K. Dobbins 16 for 63. It was just really, happy the Broncos got a win if you're a Broncos fan, but it was just a really sloppy game by them. I'm not going to look into it too deep. It was just not their best showing on offense. So I'm just curious to see if they can rein it in. Now, if it happens again, it's going to be something like, okay, so this is a legit problem, but I'm at least going to give them a pass in the first game. Like most of these teams on here, you can't look, you can look into it a little bit, you can overanalyze it, but you don't want to underanalyze it, so yeah, you really don't want to do either, so you're just kind of somewhere in that gray area. So it's I'm going to give him a bit of a pass for now, but something just all right, keep that in the back of my head for if it continues as the season goes on. Man, Buffalo Ravens, I could spend all day on this game, so we're going to try to keep it a little bit short and sweet. But Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills, this game was just amazing. This was amazing because this was a 41-40 game where it's not the defenses giving up stuff. It's the offensive being that elite. Lamar Jackson was playing that good. Derrick Henry was running the ball that good. Josh Allen playing that good. That was just what was awesome about this game. it was just truly back and forth. I mean, Derrick Henry, they rushed for 245 yards. Not the Ravens do, and they lose, which is just insane. Derrick Henry had 169 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown himself, I believe. 209 passing. Josh Allen, man. 33 for 46, 394, 2 touchdowns. James Cook had 44 rushing yards, touchdown. I think Josh Allen had 1 or 2 rushing touchdowns himself. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. This was just, like I said, Keon Coleman, 8 for 112 and 1. Seems like he might be pulling away as the number 1 receiver. Which would be awesome for them because that's what they drafted him for. It's going to be just, man, this team's just so good, dude. It is just so fun to watch them. Defensively, they might have some scares in the secondary. Like I said, that defense did get gashed a good amount. So it's like, okay, they got some cleaning up to do in that area of the game. But overall, this was just an awesome Sunday Night Football game. Like I said, not looking to it too deep, just enjoying an amazing game we got at the beginning of the year. This was a big game. We might look back on this biggest thing to look at this for the Ravens is they choke away another game. It seems like they do it once or twice every year. It seems like they choke away one of these games where it's hey, they have a massive lead, and then all of a sudden you look, it's are they down? Are they actually going to lose this? And then they have a chance to win it, and then they just don't. This time they did not really. They end up having to punt the ball away, and then Josh Allen drives down, gets him in the field goal range, and it was good by Prater. Fun, just like I said, this was a fun game just to watch. Really, really enjoyed it. And that leads us into Monday night, which was also not a bad game at all. Very, very slow start to it, but then they're able to lock it in as the second half goes in. JJ McCarthy and the Vikings put up 21 spot in the fourth quarter. I truly thought, I'll admit, I went to bed with about 9 minutes to go, woke up this morning, ended up watching the second half of the game. Wow. That was awesome to see from J.J. McCarthy. I won't lie to you, I was fighting demons. It was to the point where I was basically watching the game like this, and it'd be watch a play, miss 1 or 2 or 3, watch another one. And it's okay, I just need to go to bed. We'll watch this in the morning. Watched it in the morning. It was awesome to see just the momentum that he had. And then I heard, I think apparently Aaron Jones came out and said that J.J. McCarthy, in the huddle, told them, where else would you want, they were down and losing at one point, late in the third or whatever. He's where else would you want to be, huh? And they gave the play, and it's just something about dudes like that, and that's what's always followed J.J. Brown. He's just one of those dudes that guys are drawn to him, the leader of men quote, all that stuff. There's just something about those dudes, though, that it's someone's calm, cool, collected in that situation, just hey, we got this, we're going to figure it out. It's great to have that guy, and it's even better when he's a 22-year-old. They might have, after seeing how he played in that second half, it's okay, maybe it won't lie. It also helped that Jordan Mason, 15 for 68. I can't forget about him. He was awesome for them. Just seems that might be, for tough loss for the Bears. But like I said, I'm not going to look into it deep too much. I just think it was because Ben John, first game head coaching, they got stuff to figure out still. I think they'll be okay. Maybe. We're going to have to, like I said, I want to watch a little bit more before I really get into the Bears. I think they should be fine. Probably win 7-8 games this year still. But I was really impressed by the Vikings being able to pull that out and win it. And yeah, this is gonna be. NFL's been fun, man. This is gonna be a fun season to watch. So like I said, we're gonna head into the news. We're gonna see if there's anything I really, really missed. I don't think there's any news I missed, but we'll just keep it up and look in case. We talked about Kittle being on IR. Brock Purdy's also uncertain for week 2 because of a toe and shoulder issue. So we're just going to have to... Toe injury is the bigger concern, apparently, from Shanahan. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the injury report, see what happens there. Apparently, Tyreek Hill just got accused of domestic violence by his estranged wife. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because I just want to... this is just going to be another thing that the Dolphins get piled on about as the season goes on. It's just not good vibes from the Dolphins right now. So, and like I said, this is just another one of those things where it's just man. Just sucks. Truly sucks to see. Oh, wow. This is something I missed. Jake Moody got waived, apparently. He missed 2 field goals. I will admit, he did miss 2 field goals in their season opener. So, like I said, that's why I thought the 49ers might lose. I'll admit, I totally forgot he missed the field goals and forgot to bring that up. Because they ended up winning, so it's just one of those things that's they ended up winning, so yeah, they were all good, whatever. But yeah, like I said, they ended up waiving him, so I don't know who they're going to sign now, but yeah, he just had he was just really rough last year, and so you could kind of see the writing on the wall, and then Yeah, when he got injured, kind of changed, and then you saw this happen. So it's just like, man, it's ever since I got rid of Robbie Gold, man, it's just one of those things. Like you don't know what you got till it's gone. Steelers signed Jabril Peppers, which really, really sucks for the Bills. Cause I'm assuming they do this after there's an injury. Who was it? Elliott. I forget what his first name is. Where is it? There. I can't see your first name, but yeah, Elliott's injured for the Steelers, so they signed Jabril Peppers. I thought this might be a guy the Bills potentially signed. I heard somebody bring that up on a podcast I was listening to. It's like, oh, that would actually be probably a really good ad for them. So, kind of shocked that ends up not happening. Like I said, that Monday night game was pretty awesome. Dan Campbell guarantees a victory in Week 2 over the Bears. That is... Well, I do that. He's like, we're going to get in and we're going to get ready to play Chicago. We're going to win this game. We have to. I love the confidence, and I really hope they can get it done, but that boy putting up bulletin board material, that's going to make that game even more intriguing. Another back-to-back division games, too, for both those teams. That's tough. Eagles, they got Tank Bigsby from the Jaguars. Apparently, Philly sent a 2026 5th and 6th round pick to the Jaguars. So I'm assuming they said he's going to use him mainly as a returner. And then I'm assuming he's going to be... I was going to see, he's going to be behind Will Shipley and Saquon, but if Will Shipley's out, he's definitely going to be an option. And that's awesome for him, man. That's a massive upgrade to go from Jacksonville to... Because I won't lie to you, I think we can all agree, Jacksonville probably not going to the Super Bowl this year or making a deep run in the playoffs. He's going to Philadelphia where they have a chance where they're trying to do something really, really special. So that's awesome for him. Kendrick Bourne signs a 1-year deal worth $5 million to go to the 49ers, and like I said, that could be an issue with Juwan Jennings. We're going to have to keep an eye on it. It sounds like Kansas City might be without Xavier Worthy and Jalen Royals because of the injuries, which Worthy hurt his shoulder. I don't know what happened. I forget what happened with Jalen Royals, but... Oh, he's dealing with a knee injury. He didn't even play Friday. Okay, so that makes sense why I didn't see the injury. But yeah, Xavier Worthy mixing next week could be a massive issue for the Chiefs, especially playing against the Eagles, because like I said, they really need that yak guy, and without him, we're probably going to see a lot more of Hollywood Brown. McCurvix for the 49ers agreed to a 3-year, $45 million extension. Probably a really good deal for the 49ers. Let's see. I don't think... Yeah, Cam Ward had a really tough first start. I mean, hey, he played a really tough defense like that. That's one where I'm just like, I mean, you can't... That might be one of the best defenses in the NFL, so I'm just going to be like, okay, he should be... He might be okay. It's still a lot of time to grow. I just hope that he has the right coach. That is my one fear. I fear he might have the wrong coach. And that's... Okay, and then this is the last one. Sorry, there's two more. Malik Hooker got signed to a multi-year deal with the... shout out to him, man. Or, sorry, not... shout out to Malik Hooker, but Amari Hooker. Sorry, wrong Hooker. Amari Hooker signed an extension with the Titans. Shout out to him. And apparently the Packers pursued Hendrickson before trading for Micah Parsons. So, yeah, they were going to get the pass rusher for sure. Very curious to see what the Bengals would have asked for. And that's going to do it for the NFL news. So let's quickly, I'll just preview the games for week 2, just talk about the matchups that we'll be seeing. And then, like I said, we're going to break them all down tomorrow, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. Next week, you're going Commanders back. We're going to see Commanders Packers Thursday Night Football. That's going to be awesome. Sunday night, we got never mind. That's not. It's the Colts and Broncos. They play at 4 o'clock, which is awesome. Nice to see the Colts in a 4 o'clock time slot for once in a while. Titans playing the Rams. Pittsburgh playing the Seahawks. I'll say the home team first, by the way. Jets playing the Bills. Lions playing the Bears. Cowboys playing the Giants. Ravens playing the Browns. Saints playing the 49ers. Dolphins playing the Patriots. Bengals playing the Jaguars. Cardinals playing the Panthers. Chiefs playing the Eagles. Vikings playing the Falcons. The Monday Night Football. Texans, Buccaneers. And then, like I said, the game I'm pissed about, Raiders, Chargers. That's at 10 p.m. Just why 10 p.m., man? Why? Just makes me mad that I have to watch the game the next day. But thank y'all for watching. Thanks for support. Really do appreciate it. A bit of a long one today, but we'll be back in this feed tomorrow for a little bit of Pickem Thursdays on a Wednesday. where I'll be giving out my picks again. We'll talk about the betting record. Not a bad betting weekend for us, by the way. Pretty decent betting weekend, but we'll talk about all the bets and everything, break down NFL, do the pick'ems, and then we'll also do some college football, and then we're off on the week 2, man, and week 3 of college football. And just like that, man, the sprint begins. I mean, time's really just going to keep moving, and it's going to keep flying. So I'll see everyone back in this feed tomorrow.